About to see the world in action, what we can be. Life with no distractions, we'll get away. This is what we waited for. Take my hand, we'll make it somehow. We can't miss out. I'm done living life with the lights out. Die with my own doubts. Be free with me. Let's be free with me. About to see the world in action, what we can be. Life with no distractions, we'll get away. This is what we waited for. Take my hand, we'll make it somehow. We can't miss out. I'm done living life with the lights out. Die with my own doubts. Be free.
Hello everybody and welcome to day 1 of the Money Accelerator. I am literally so excited to have this 5-day accelerator with you and have the opportunity to coach you for the next few days and give you some real insights that are going to help you accelerate your results. And truly, when I was planning this event, I thought about a few different things. I thought about what were some of the things that I wish I knew when I was starting off in my business? What were some of the key learnings that helped me create regular income and regular revenue? And what was the turning point that's helping myself and my clients hit 6 figures? So I pulled those things together and I created this 5-day event. And I'm just excited to dive in with you. Today's topic is on how to create an irresistible pitch. And the pitch is such an important part. So before we go there, before we dive in, I'm going to do this. I'm going to hit that. And I want to make sure that you can hear me and that you can see me. So we are streaming right now on YouTube and on Facebook. So if you can hear me on YouTube, give me some love. Let me know that you're there. And if you can hear me on Facebook, let me know that you can hear, see me, all that good stuff. Because you never know. And we were having some technological problems earlier in the setup. So definitely let me know if you can see me and you can hear me. I see Chris. Okay, all right. Yes, nice. Okay. Well, good to see you guys. Amazing. And let's just check on YouTube and just make sure that we are doing well. Okay, we're good. Okay, so we're good everywhere. I see Keith is over on YouTube, so we are doing the thing tonight. Okay. This is going to be so much fun, but I'm going to preface it with you to say that this event, and tonight in particular, you're going to want to take notes as we go through. What I want to go over with you is how you can take strategic action right away so that you're able to accelerate your results. So that means that we got to dig in here, right? We're not just going to do surface level, we're going to actually dig in a bit. And to do that, we need to take notes to lock in the lessons. Okay, so I'm gonna pull over a little resource that I made for you. The thing about tonight that's really important to note is that there are no there's no workbook or PDFs needed for tonight. I do have a little thing that I gave you as a gift for coming to the accelerator altogether, and that is my ultimate guide to Facebook promo groups. There is a link in the chat somewhere, so if you do not have that today, I'm gonna just tell you go ahead and download it, grab your copy. It is so much fun. There's over 180, I think it's 190 groups that are there right now, and you can kind of go through, pick the groups that are going to align with your target audience and go and build some relationships and get some business. Facebook promo groups have been phenomenal for me from a lead generation standpoint, and we're going to talk more about that on day 3 and day 4 of this event. So with that being said, let's take a look at the true focus for tonight, and that is how to create an irresistible sales pitch. Right? And we don't want to just have a basic sales pitch, just a general conversation. We're going to talk about all the details so that you can pitch with confidence and really attract your ideal customer. So let's take a look together. So first off, what actually is a sales pitch? What is it and what is it not? So a sales pitch is an attempt to persuade someone to buy your product or services. You can pitch in many different realms. You can pitch in the DMs, you can pitch over the phone, face-to-face, over Zoom. All of those things are valid opportunities to sell your services. I will always preface when I say pitching in the DMs requires relationship building over just blasting cold DMs. And that's one of the things that I believe is absolutely key to having great conversations and actually getting trust with people. So ensuring that you are not just kind of throwing out 3 paragraphs of join my group or join my challenge. Like, get to know someone first. So what is a sales pitch? What is not a sales pitch? A sales pitch is not just a monologue, right, of the features of the product, where you just go over and over all the features you can possibly come up with, right, as a way to convince someone that they should work with you. It's not a one-sided conversation either. And that part is really, really important to just soak in. Right? A pitch is not a one-sided conversation. It's not a list of all the features that the product has, and it's not you trying to share as much information as possible. Okay? Instead, a pitch is a conversation with your buyer. Okay? And there are a few important things that go into a really good pitch. Step 1 is a great pitch starts by asking really good questions. Okay, you need to understand where that person is coming from and what their needs are before diving down the road of this is how I can fix your life, right? And I know you've seen it, right? I had 3 of them today, actually. I don't know if it was like they knew that we were going to be having this conversation. Maybe that was it. But I literally had 3 of those conversations today where people were like, hey, I can help you with lead generation, or I can help you with sales. And I was like, you know nothing about me, which is very evident, because if you did, you would know that lead generation is not my opportunity. Sales is not my opportunity. Like, those are not the things that I need support with. If you want to respond to some of my viral posts, that might be helpful. But aside from that, I don't need help with that stuff. And so, but by asking, what these people could have done differently is they could have asked questions about my business. And that's what you need to do. You need to ask questions about your ideal client's business. And there are 4 different types of questions that you want to ask, right? But I always really focus in on, because some of them can be done ahead of time with research and all that good stuff. But the key questions that you want to ask are pertaining to their overall opportunity or their overall problem. What is it that they need support with? And really getting to the understanding of how you can be the person to offer it. Because the truth of it all is that if you may have a phenomenal product, but if you don't qualify the client, which is what asking great questions does, you're going to really struggle to land with people. You have to qualify them and ensure that they can actually benefit from your services. And that's the beauty of asking really great questions. So a great pitch starts with asking great questions ahead of time. The next thing that you want to do when it comes to your pitch, and this is an interesting thing, is you want to really focus on the customer. So what does that mean? You want to talk about the person using the product, not just about you and your wins. And here's the thing, okay? As entrepreneurs, you have worked so hard at what you do. You've worked to figure out the, how to get in front of people, how to do X, Y, and Z. And you're proud of it, and you should be. It's not an easy road that you've chosen. So you should be proud of what you've accomplished. But sharing that with the client at that point in time is not the right time. We have to really change our focus to pull away from ourselves and focus in on that person, because they are the ones who need to see themselves going through the transformation that you are offering. They're the ones that need to see themselves getting the benefits that you are talking about, right? At the end of the road, at the end of your coaching or your training or whatever your service is, they're the ones that need to see. If you're a marketer and you're offering, lead generation, for instance, they're the ones that need to see themselves like qualifying 10 people a week and having phenomenal conversations and closing 3 deals each week, and whatever it is that their goals are. Like, they have to feel it. And if they don't, because we're spending too much time talking about ourselves or our experiences or how we got to where we were, that you're going to lose the interest. They're going to lose the interest because they're not seeing themselves, they're seeing you. And it's harder to put yourself in the other person's position, right? Does that make sense? So the next piece to the puzzle is you want to use storytelling. And storytelling allows people to see the vision, okay? When you talk only about, if we talk about the features of a product, and we can use, for instance, like a cell phone, for instance. And when we talk about the features of a cell phone, we might say that it has, this type of camera lens, or these type of speakers, or the screen size is this big, and it has this memory and speed, and it's 5G and all the juice, right? We're going to talk about all the meat. But the client isn't feeling anything from that. Okay, they're not feeling anything from that. But if you can use storytelling to share with them, like, with this phone, when you're on vacation at the beach with your family, right? And you can feel like the breeze going through your hair, and you can smell the salt water, and like it's such a beautiful, like gorgeous day, and you take out your phone because you want to take a picture of that moment. You want to capture that moment. This camera is the one that's going to capture the moment, and you're going to be able to look back on it, and you're going to be able to smell the salt, right? You're going to be able to feel the sun on your skin from capturing that moment. Like, that's the storytelling. That's what lets people say, oh, okay, I'm there. I'm with you. I feel it. The next part of this process is to offer solutions and not features. So features tell and solutions sell. I love that saying. I don't know if you've heard it before. If you've heard that saying before, features tell, solutions sell, say it in the chat, say a me for me, whether you're on YouTube or whether you're on Facebook, give me a little me if you've heard it before. That saying is so much fun because of, obviously it sounds fun, but at the same time, it's so true. The features are the ones that tell you all about the product, right? All the things that they're going to get from it, right? But people are not just about understanding the basic features of what something's going to give them. That's not what really sells people. And I want you to think about it. Like, think about the last, product that you maybe bought. And, maybe it was like let me think of something. Like, maybe, I love the cell phone example, right? So maybe it's a cell phone, and the features of the cell phone, again, are like the lens and, how big the phone is, and you know, like what type of camera it is, how much memory it has, can it fit an SD card so that you can have an external memory, you know, how quickly does it work, what's the speed on it, so, you know, can you keep up with the latest gaming apps and all that stuff, right? Can you film video on it, and what does it look like? Can you do some special touches? Like, those are all the features of what this looks like. But the solution, right, is that the camera is going to give you better quality pictures so that you can capture your memories. The larger screen means that the picture quality and the visibility is going to be better when you want to flip back through and look at them. So those are the solutions to the product. The features, however, simply are, you know, all the techie stuff. And however important the techie stuff is, people really tie into the solutions in a deeper way than they do the tech. So the next, I want to give you, and then we're going to do a little activity together. I want to give you the actual 5 steps to an irresistible pitch. This part is key. Okay, this part is really key. So step 1 is you want to identify what the problem is. You want to identify what the opportunity for the person is. What's the pain point? Like what's wrong, and what do they need support with? And once you identify that problem, then you want to highlight a feature. Okay? Not all the features. 1 is sufficient. Just 1. You want to pick the feature that is going to tie to the client's opportunity the deepest. Okay? So what feature is actually like relates the deepest to their true problem? And then you pull, those 2 things are going to be pulled together. Then, okay, you want to spotlight what the solution is. So that's when you're going to offer, you know, that's when you're going to like offer your actual solution. This is how I support you through this. You want to present an action. This is your next steps. And then you can share the result. This is what's going to happen when you do this. So these 5 steps, when put into action, are incredible. These 5 steps, when put into action, are truly incredible. It's not a long thing. You can write it out ahead of time and have like a couple different processes or a couple different thoughts and practice them ahead of time. But when you alter your process in this way, it changes the dynamic of the conversation, and all of a sudden the client is saying, yeah, like I'm seeing it. I see how you can help me. I see why you can help me. Okay? And you're no longer having to convince or persuade. You're no longer having to beg or, you know, try and like push them into something. You're simply highlighting why you're the right person to support them through it. It's very simple. So I want to give you an example of like this in action, because I thought it was like, and believe it or not, my example is my husband. So my husband is absolutely obsessed with appliances and technology. He's a big techie, and for some reason he likes kitchen appliances as well, which I don't know where that comes from, but that's him. And he had been harping on me to get an Instapot. Does anyone have an Instapot? If you have one, put it in the chat. Say, I have one. Say me. Okay? I'm curious if you have one too. So, he had been harping me about this Instapot for like the longest time, for years. He had been asking, like saying, we need to get the Instapot. It's this, it's that. And like, I'm just going to be frank with you. I hate appliances. I'm like, I hate those kitchen top or countertop appliances, because they just like, I believe less is more. They take up a lot of space, and I would personally prefer to have a few high quality appliances than all of them. Okay? And so he tried convincing me that we needed to have this thing. He's like, you need the Instapot. And he would tell me all the things that the Instapot can do. It can cook rice, it can saute, it can pressure cook, it can cook a whole chicken in 30 minutes. Okay? And the list goes on and on and on, right? But here's the deal. It's like, I am the cook in the household. He knows how to cook, like he knows how to do a couple things, but I'm the cook. And so it wasn't a matter of him like actually wanting the appliance. He wanted me to have the appliance and actually use it. And I was just adamantly against it. And I will say that he was wise enough to not just get it for me for like a Christmas or a Mother's Day or some type of present, right? Because he knew that I was not about that. So then he changed tactics. He was very, very clever, actually. He changed tactics. And then he started telling me about, all the time that I was going to save and how I would be the person to perfect Jamaican rice and peas in the Instapot, and how the Instapot would eliminate the need to have 3 other appliances in the kitchen, saving very valuable kitchen space, counter space. And I'll tell you, I was sold at that point, right? And it wasn't, I promise it wasn't the flattery. It was like the eliminating multiple appliances that got me. And when he spoke, he was offering a solution to something that was annoying me, which was that we had all these different appliances for different things, and it just was so much taking up space. Like, it was just so much space. It was something that bothered me, and he provided a valuable way of solving the problem so that I could use one appliance to cook and save time to cook multiple dishes. So the long story there is that features tell, but solutions sell. And so when you look at your pitch from that perspective of how do I identify the problem? How do I highlight the feature? I need to spotlight the solution, present an action, and share the result. All of a sudden, the conversation transforms. So I am going to give you an example, and then we're going to put this into action. We're actually going to create a pitch right now together and go from there. So let me show you a little bit about the example. So here is the example, okay? So this is an example of a pitch. A business coach is having a difficult time with lead generation. You offer a done-for-you funnel creation package. How amazing would a done-for-you funnel creation be? I think that'd be pretty awesome, especially if it's to generate leads. And so the pitch would be this. Creating a clear and straightforward funnel with us will help you get in front of your target audience, allowing you to take intentional and confident action in selling your services while attracting at least 30 qualified leads over the next quarter. Okay, so as we break that down a bit, right, we've identified the problem, which is that they need to get in front of their target audience. Okay, we are highlighting the feature, which is a very clean and straightforward funnel. That is the solution to their problem, right? We're spotlighting the solution, which is going to allow them to take intentional action. They're presenting the action, which is people are going to be basically going through this funnel and experiencing it, and it's going to give you confidence to sell your services. And then we share the results. You're going to get 30 qualified leads, right? Who wants more leads? And especially qualified leads, not just any leads, qualified leads. It's amazing. So that in itself is the example. And do you see how it's short, it's to the point, and it's simply a gentle part of your process? We're not, strong-arming anyone. We're not pushing anyone to do anything. We're just showing them the value of working with you. The next thing that I want to show you is I want to actually take you through, and I want to give you a minute to write your own pitch. Okay, so I want you to think about what is one problem that your target audience typically has, one thing that you come up against time and again, and then I want you to actually write down, just take a minute and write down how you would handle the pitch. What would you actually say, right? Based upon that problem. And what I'm going to do for you as you do this pitch activity is I'm going to bring back up the page that has the steps, okay? So step 1 being identify the problem, highlight the feature, highlight a feature, just one. spotlight the solution, present an action, and share a result. So I want to give you just a minute to write your pitch right now. Like I told you, this is an accelerator. I want you to be able to take action tomorrow. So the next conversation you're on, you're able to pitch with confidence, with purpose, from your zone of genius, right? Making small little tweaks that are going to create tremendous results. Here is the thing. So I'm going to give you just a minute to do that. And here's the beautiful thing about this. This type of conversation is not the norm today. It's not. But I've told you before that I don't believe in doing things just to do them, what everyone else is doing. I totally think that myself as blue ocean. When we think of the red ocean, blue ocean marketing metaphor, I think of myself as a differentiator. I don't believe in doing what everybody else is doing when it comes to sales. And so what we see many times is that, people are relying upon their products to sell themselves, right? And they think that by just telling the client over and over and over again, this is the transformation you're going to get, this is all the features and benefits of the product, this is enough, that it's going to be enough. But the reality is that your conversion rate is not going to be what it could be if you approach it from a place of service. And this process is approaching your process from a place of service. Okay, so then the next thing that I want to do, with you tonight, okay, is I want to actually go a little bit deeper, because part of accelerating and part of creating results is knowing where you're going. Okay, so I want to actually do a little activity for you. It's called the vision activity. And this activity is, I want you to, again, we have our paper out, we have our notes out, so we're going to take some notes, and whatever you're doing that on, we're going to do it right now. I want you to think about where your business is going to be 10 years from now. Okay? I want you to think about, what does the future lie for you? What does your life look like? What are you doing with your family? What does your family look like? What's happening with, and how are you serving people? Right? What is it? Where are you living? What are you doing for fun? And how are you helping others? So wherever you are today, I want to know how you're going to elevate your business. Okay? Wherever you are today, I want to know how you're going to elevate your business 10 years from now. Right? I really do. I want you to write down, and I want you to really think about this, because this is important. If you don't know where you're going, then you are going to really struggle to create impact. You have to have a vision of what it is that you want to accomplish, and you have to know why. That is important. That's part of helping you accelerate, is being able to have a clear, defined vision. And part of it is the dream. Part of it is, I want to be able to travel 4 or 5 times a year. I want to be able to take off 8 weeks of vacation a year. I want to be able to spend more time with my family, right? And let me tell you a little bit about, why I started my business, as you write down your thoughts here on this vision activity. I started my business because we were in the midst of COVID, and I had just had my son. And after having my son, it was time to go back to work. We didn't have childcare, and just like many other people, I was stuck between a rock and a hard place, and I had to make some really hard decisions. And one of the things that was striking me is that when I had my twins in 2016, I went back to work after they came home from the NICU 4 weeks later. Okay, 4 weeks after my children came back from the NICU, I went back to work. And when I say back to work, it wasn't like you're going into a location, you're going into an office, you're working a 9 to 5 and you come home. No, I was traveling, staying in hotels. My kids and the au pair were with me in the hotels. Like as infants, it was absolute madness. But this is what it is when you are in, working in banking, finance, working in corporate. And I know those of you who worked in corporate can feel it and know it, that the expectations and the pressure to perform, especially after you have children, is so hard that you just, you dive in. And so I did. And like when your intuition tells you. So my au pair Angela told me at the time, she's like, yeah, of course you saw the girls' first steps, you saw about these things. And I just realized that I probably missed those things, right? Because working for me was like 80-hour weeks. That was what work was. It was just nonstop. And so when I had my son and all of this happened, and I looked at the situation and just said, I don't want to miss everything again. I don't want to. I want to be able to have the life that I want. And this high pressure, high stress, never, no matter how much you kill metrics or help create impact, or, we're rolling out programs and the numbers that no matter how much you're hitting things, there's always another number. There's always another thing to hit, and it's never good enough, right? And it just struck me that it wasn't what I wanted. I just didn't want it. I wanted something different. And so I gave up my career. I said, I want to be with my children. I want to watch them grow up. I don't want to, be a bystander and think that, and I'll tell you the truth, right? There was one of my mentors. We've all had mentors. I hope you have a mentor right now. If you don't, you're welcome to DM me. When one of my mentors said to me, you know what, Riley? There is no such thing as work-life balance. She said, you need to just aim to be there for the moments that matter. And so that was my mantra when I had the twins. That was my mantra. It was, I just need to be there for the moments that matter. It's okay. I just need to be there for the moments that matter. I can be a weekend mom and I'm gonna be happy. It's fine. I'm almost at the pinnacle. I'm invited to the senior level table. I'm sitting here. I'm in the room with the big boys. I'm here, right? And I'm the only Black woman in this room. I'm here. And then Maxine came, then my son came, and I just said, I don't want this. And so I started my company, and I decided that I wanted to help people in a different way, right? And so it went through a lot of different transitions, ups and downs, and figuring it out, and working off of referrals initially, then growing the business, and then figuring out the lead gen piece, and all of a sudden things clicking, finding the right coach, finding the right mentor, working with them, and then accelerated results, right? And I realized that the whole idea of not being able to have work-life balance is such a crock of crap. It's such nonsense. You can have work-life balance. You can have your cake, you can eat it too. If you want to run a business and you only work 20 or 25 hours a week, you can do it. It's just about aligning and figuring out what's important to you and how you want to serve people, right? That's really what it is. I work 25 to 30 hours a week now, and I'm there. I'm a full-time mom. If you guys have heard my schedule, I, start my day at 5 a.m. I get up at 5 because I want to, because I love to, because it brings me joy. I get up at 5. I, start my day. I do meditation. I do some work on myself. I join my morning mastermind among other like-minded, incredible people. And then I put my mom hat on at 7, right? I put my mom hat on and I'm with my kids all day and I work in the evening. And the joy that I have of being able to see those things is just incredible. So when I think about my own vision, right, I have big goals. I have those big goals that scare you. And I hope you do too. I hope you have those goals that you're sometimes even afraid to say out loud, right? Like when you say like, you know what, in 10 years, I want to be an 8-figure company. Like I want you to have those goals that are scary to you because they're possible. It's possible. It's a matter of putting the work in. It's a matter of finding the formula. It's a matter of being willing to test and try and adjust and tweak and, you know, do the things, but it's all possible. And I've met so many of you, right? I've met so many of you, whether in Money Flow Mentors, maybe not on YouTube, right? I probably haven't met you on YouTube, but on Money Flow Mentors, I've met so many of you, my Facebook group, and your goals are so incredible, right? And like that's how I determine how I want to work with people. If their goals are incredible, if they are aiming for something. Tony Robbins said there's no greater fulfillment in life than 1, love, or 2, service. And when he says that, what he means by that is that service and helping others is supposed to be the core of what we do. If you don't love what you do, you're never going to be really, really, really good at it. And it's going to be very hard for something that you don't love to make you good money, to make you abundance. It's going to be very hard. But for most of you that I've met at this point, that's not the problem, right? The problem comes into things like I'm getting in front of people, but the conversation isn't working and they're not saying yes, or I'm not getting in front of people and I need help getting in front of people, right? That's like what I'm hearing from you. So as we do this activity and you think about it, I really want you to think about like the service side of things. And I want you to think about, because what makes you so passionate about what you do? Here's the truth, right? 89% of businesses fail. 89%. And why did they fail? Right? At the core, most of them failed because they couldn't make money. That's what made most of them fail. But out there in the cosmos, right? In the universe, how many resources are there for businesses? All the information is out there technically. You can find it, right? You can technically find anything you want on YouTube, Google, all the things, right? But you got to search wide and deep to find the real answers, to wade through. And so that's what this week is about. It's about helping you get streamlined results without having to wade through and figure it out. So, with that being said, I hope you have something phenomenal down right now for that vision activity. And I hope that you are looking at that future self and looking at what you're planning to accomplish. And you start thinking about, what steps do I need to take to step into that person? Right? What steps do I need to take to bring this into reality so that these pieces are true? These pieces are what happens. It's not a far off dream. It's simply a part of my business plan. Tomorrow, I have such an incredible day in store for you. We're going to be talking about how to attract your soulmate client on repeat. So it's a lead generation day, something that I know is on very much the top of the head for most people right now. How do you get in front of your target audience? And in fact, what I'm going to be talking about and sharing with you is my viral funnel, which I can say is viral now because it's like gone absolutely crazy. I can't even believe to use that word. But it has brought in a ridiculous number of leads and downloads and all that stuff. So we're going to be talking about how that works and how to get in front of your soulmate client so that you can have them coming to you on repeat. I hope that you enjoyed this conversation. I'm going to give just a little bit of space to see if there's any, kind of like questions or anything that comes up from this. So let me take a look. I see. Yes, you're so welcome, Naya. I'm so happy to have you. Let me see. Okay, so Chris wants to. I love your goal, Chris. Like, this is so beautiful. I want to travel the world. I want to have my own farm. I want to have my own printing photography business. So Chris is a fire, like, video editor and like artist and such beautiful things. So I'm so excited for this to come true for you, Chris. It's just about taking strategic action from here, right? And then we have Keith on YouTube. Let's see. It says, setting priorities and time management, focus on your goal, whatever it takes along the way, and also make your loved ones, family, and also, make them as your inspiration. Phenomenal. It's so true. It's so true. Like, I will tell you that I was propelled after having my twins. Like, you all of a sudden have a different mindset after having to have other people you take care of. And the parents who are watching, I know you may feel the same way. Like, when you are single and free, your mind was not as necessarily focused on making sure that, like, you only had to yourself take care of. You had yourself to make sure you survived. When you have a family, all of a sudden you need to take care of other little people, and other little people are dependent upon you. You elevate yourself to a different level. Like, you show up in a different level. It's not an opportunity. You can't just fall off. And so I do think that having your family as an inspiration can push you to do things that you didn't even realize you had the potential to do initially, right? I think it's beautiful. Yes, I love that, Naya. Yeah, you say that your two saved your life. That's beautiful. Yeah, kids are amazing, but for those that don't have them, it's like there's other things that are propelling you, that are pushing you forward, that are building inspiration in you and vibrancy. There's something else in there. So that vision activity, I hope that one resonated and stuck deep. Looking forward to tomorrow. We're going to be same time, same place, 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, 4 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. We'll see you, and I hope you have an amazing night or day wherever you are in the world, and I'll see you at the next one. Bye.